things become so big they snowball. I mean, grunge, you know, grunge in itself before alternative. Grunge was the word, and it used to be a good word. It used to mean sort of a heartfelt, raw, emotive style of music, you know, no bones.
When Bush released their debut album 16 Stone in late 1994, there were instant Nirvana comparisons being thrown at the band. That similar gravelly rock voice and grunge guitar, those obscure lyrics, had some critics calling Bush the next Nirvana. And the timing was there too. Cobain had tragically died in April of '94, and it seemed Bush were there now to take up the mantle just a few months later with the release of their debut album. And there was definitely still an appetite out there for that style of music. The album boasted 5 huge singles including Everything Zen, Come Down, and Glycerine, and has been certified 6 times platinum in the US. That's 6 million copies sold. But were Nirvana really an inspiration for Bush? You damn right they were. Bush lead singer Gavin Rossdale explains.
So when you heard Nirvana, did that do something special, or was that
Very special. I saw them in just before Nevermind came out, when they were just finishing touring Bleach, which was their first record. And I saw them at the Roxy in LA, and that was really the turning point. Exactly the same thing I saw Mudhoney in New York, and seeing Mudhoney and seeing Nirvana made me understand that I did have a place in with making rock music, you know, because poodle rock music, kind of big hair bands were really successful then. Aerosmith with the older generation, obviously, but the kind of, you know, all the horrible LA bands that were around at the time.
Motley Crue and bands like that, you know, just
and I just didn't feel any affinity with that, and I thought that it was really, there was no culture in it for me, and nothing that I could relate to. And yet when I saw Nirvana, it had all the kind of elements of all the punk stuff that I'd grown up on and really loved, and all the futurism of the really good melodies, which are sort of timeless, and the kind of passion and energy with which was the only way I thought that you should play music. It was the birth of, you saw the counterculture, you saw the power that it was all having, this bubbling under the surface of what was going on at the time. You know, there was nothing interesting sort of musically around those places apart from these bands. These bands are coming through and ripping up and tearing everyone's preconceptions as to what it was to be in a rock band or whatever. And it allowed me gave me the freedom to just express myself with the knowledge that you didn't have to be screeching and sort of running around the stage with big hair to sort of, you know.
to get in.
It was just inspirational, which was fine, you know. It's exactly the same when I heard the Pixies. When I first heard the Pixies, the first band I was in, Surfer Rosa, and I was just like, this is it, you know, this is where music's going for me.
So there it goes, guys. Bush, a great band in their own right, have released many quality studio albums at this point and have become very successful. And as I say, they pretty much came on the scene right when Nirvana ended, so it would have been really interesting to see if, you know, Kurt hadn't died, of course, and had Nirvana and Bush being on the scene at the same time. It just would have been interesting to see how they would have got along, or if they were toured together or stuff like that. Would have Kurt dug Bush's music? Would have he been into it? And all that kind of stuff. But anyway, there goes the video, guys. Thanks heaps for tuning in as always. Be sure to drop a like down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We'll catch you on the next one.